follow me, you get the up-to-date news when it comes to TRT. And there's one thing that you all know, or whether you should know by now, is that men's TRT is dipping by the day. Every single day it's hitting a new time low. And not only is it hitting a new time low, the powers to be, I know if you don't believe in this crap, but hear me out. The powers to be are saying it's okay to be low, so all they do is change the goalpost. Just make the goalpost a little bit smaller so that you think it's normal if you're in that region. It's very simple. Back in the days, if your testosterone was 50 to 100, that was normal. Now, if your testosterone is 8, little itty bitty 8, like a 12-year-old girl would have an 8 testosterone reading, 8 to 28, it's normal. You are being compared to a fat kid who eats pizza every single day playing PlayStation. Now, there's nothing wrong with eating pizza, just not every day. And there's nothing wrong with playing PlayStation, just not every single day. So how are they doing this to us? What is going on? What has happened with society that men are no longer men? What is going on? Is it our fault? Is it their fault? Whose fault is it? Well, the truth is, everybody is to blame all at once. Hear me out. Let's start with the basic. The basic thing that we need as humans to survive, other than oxygen, well, I'm not even going to get into the oxygen. That's another topic. Other than oxygen is water. We all drink water. And if you don't think or you don't believe there's something in our water that's causing our testosterone to dip, then you might as well just turn this video off right now, because you and me, pal, are on a different page completely. We should all know by now there is shit in our water, from estrogen pills, from the birth control pills that are getting stuck in the pipes, to all sorts. The plastics inside the bottle, the estrogen inside the bottle. Look, I don't even know the science on it, to be honest with you. The list goes on and on. The water is poisonous. What can we do about it? Is there certain things we can do about it? Yes and no. How much can we do? When can we start doing it? When will it start happening? When will it start changing and reversing the effects that's been caused on us for many, many years? Who knows? But let's call a spade a spade. There is something in the water that is causing our testosterone to dip, or it already has dipped. And even if now we make a change and start doing something about it, it's already too late. So face up to reality. Your testosterone is low because there's something in the water. Now moving on. What else do we need to survive? Food. Yes, food, the big one. If you don't believe, now forget about water, you might not have agreed with me on water, but if you don't believe whoever they are, I'm not going to mention any names, aren't out to make you fat, then you only have to walk down the aisles of Tesco or the aisles of any supermarket in the world. Let me give you a quick little example. Back in the days, if I ever went to Tesco and I did a little shop, and this isn't even that back in the days, I'm talking just 20 years ago, only 20 years ago, I remember finishing the night shift. I used to go to Tesco, because that's the time I like shopping. I don't like shopping when everyone's so busy. And you go to shopping and you want something quick, you want something easy, and you go to the ready meal section. The meal that is the most processed meat, the most processed meal possible. You go down the aisles, and guess how big the aisle was? It wasn't even an aisle. It was like a little box around this big, about 2 meters. You got to the end of it, finished, done. You went to the snacks, the treats aisle. It was very, very small. You went to the bread aisle. It wasn't even an aisle of bread. What was it? Just a tiny little section that had a couple of different breads. You had a 50-50, you had a white, and you had a brown. And you might, if you lived in a posh area, had a whole meal or something like a 7-grain multi-grain bread. And that was it. Now, if you go down any aisle, there is 2 massive aisles of processed food, ready meals. If you go to the sweets and treats section, well, that's massive. Half of the supermarket now is just full of shit. But if you go to the bread section, just talking breads, bread alone is now a massive aisle. You know I'm right. And then we can move on to the food that we cook at home. What we're buying from the supermarket, what kind of foods are we getting cooked at home? How big have the frozen sections grown nowadays? And then we move further on into eating out. Eating out nowadays is more popular than ever before. So much so that yours truly over here eats out 3 to 4 times every single day. I can't help it. It is what it is. But I have figured a plan on how to hack it. comment down below. In fact, don't comment down below. Link is in the description. Hire me for the coaching. I'll teach you exactly how to do it. But moving on, food. I mean, back in the days, bro, you couldn't get Uber Eats anywhere in the world at any time. Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Food Panda. Obviously in Thailand, there's Line, there's Grab. No matter where you are, bro. In Thailand, it's so crazy, right? I can be at the gym and I can look at the gym and I can be like, you know what? They don't have Red Bull. I want a Red Bull. I'll go on the app from 7-Eleven, and it's called Line out there. If you guys are in Thailand, you know what I'm talking about. You click Red Bull, someone will come to the gym to drop it off for you. That's how crazy it is. In the UK, it's kind of slowly coming there. In fact, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't really use Uber Eats or I was going to say Line. What's the other one? Uber Eats or Deliveroo in the UK. And I think it's... is it Food Panda? Do they have Food Panda in the UK? Do you know what? I don't even know, and I'm not even taking a piss there. I'm being very genuine. I have no idea what food apps there are in the UK because I do not use them. I get in my car, I drive where I need to go and eat, and I go and find a place and I eat there. I do not use food apps. I do not get food from outside delivered home on these apps. Yes, if I'm going to order from somewhere that I know, I will then ring the guy up and say, yo, get us a burger and fries, send it to my house, and he knows my address, bro, and that's how I normally do it. But the point is of this video, the food has completely changed. The food industry has completely changed. A chicken today, let's just talk about chicken. 100 gram of protein in how much chicken would have to be, you'd have to find today. Imagine that same chicken 20 years ago, 30 years ago, better quality, better farm raised, better looked after. The quality would be so much better 20 years ago than it is compared to today. And you only have to go to different countries to find out, to figure that out. The chicken in different countries looks different, tastes different. How can a chicken taste different, bro? And I'm not talking about seasoning and spices, bro. I'm talking about pure chicken breast, like just normal chicken breast, which you would think all over the world would be exactly the same, but it's not. They have got us with the food, and so much chemicals are being added inside the food. They pump steak full of steroids, they pump chicken full of steroids, full of water, full of filling agents and all sorts of crap. And don't even get me started on the vegetables. The vegetable industry is more scandalous than the meat industry, and the fruit industry, bro, listen, don't even get me. I'm not even going to talk about it. I think this might even go over some people's heads. If I start to say what they're actually doing in fruit and vegetables, you wouldn't even believe. If you think meat's so bad, wait till you open the tin of worms, literally, about fruits and vegetables. And now we're moving on to our lives. What do we do for media, social media, TV, everything around us? Anything media related, anything there's a billboard, anything where there's an advertisement, anything that makes us just feel good. PlayStation, Netflix, Prime, Amazon Prime, what's the other ones? I don't even know. People sit down and are so lazy. They're sat in front of the screen nowadays thinking, yeah, do you know what? This is good. And you're just getting these hits of dopamine, boom, boom, watching Breaking Bad, what's the other shows people watch? I don't even know. There's so much shows out there. I'm not a big TV consumer. It's not something I do. Yes, I'll watch YouTube videos. I'll watch other stuff as well. I'll occasionally watch Netflix, but some people make it their life. People are playing God of War, Metal Gear Solid, Assassin's Creed, all these other games out there, Grand Theft Auto, Gran Turismo. People are just sat there, dopamine junkies, sat there just playing PlayStation 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, probably longer. The world is going nuts. And you'll wonder why we are having an issue with low testosterone. They're the things that we can control to a degree. We can control all those things. But then we talk about schools. Do you know what? This is a video where I'm going to say a lot. Don't even get me started. Because you guys know, if you have kids, what I'm talking about. What are they doing to our kids in school at the minute? What are they trying to do? If a guy speaks out of line, in fact, you know what? Not even if a guy speaks out. If a guy says something what normal guys would say, that's toxic masculinity. Do not say that kind of stuff. Do not stand like that. Do not do this. Do not follow this person. Do not listen to that person. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. Cancel culture is going crazy. I'm not going to say too much about that because I do not want to get banned. But there is a lot of virtue signaling going on in this world right now because everyone says we are the ones who are doing it right. Nobody else is. If you say that, that is misogynist. That is a bigot. That is racist. That is. You can't say anything nowadays. And where does it start? With our kids. And what do they do to the kids? Imagine, like, look, I'm not the guy who came out with this, but look, kids can't vote, kids can't smoke, kids can't do certain things, but guess what they're allowed to do? Change that. Absolutely insane. So That's another thing. And then we move on to another issue that's a little bit common, especially in guys, maybe in females as well, and that is porn. Yeah, porn, of course. Yes, it's more readily available now. It's never been this readily available ever in any history in the far as we can date back in the start of the world. It's never been more available than it has been today. And now men are broken. So you combine all those things together and you compound all those things together, you have got a generation of low testosterone individuals. You've got a generation of men that are just lazy, men that are just obey, bow down, yes sir, yes master, tell me what to do. So how the hell do you think that you can just watch some YouTube videos, a little bit of motivation and think, oh, do you know what, mate? I'm okay now, I'm motivated, I think TRT is cheating, do not take TRT, it is bad for you, it is going to mess this. You guys don't know jack shit about TRT. The majority of guys writing in the comments saying, oh, well, I'd rather do it the natural way. Do you think this is natural? Do you think water eating natural? Do you think the food you're having is natural? Do you think the porn you're watching is natural? Yeah, that's definitely not natural. Do you think all these things you're doing is natural? You think you're supposed to sit 10 hours in front of a TV, watch a whole Netflix series back to back, play God of War for 8 hours a day back to back? Do you think those things are natural? And you're going to tell people like me and everybody else who just wants a little edge on life, who just want what was put inside us from day one, what was taken away from us, we just want it back, bro. We just want a little bit of TRT inside us so we can start feeling good, finding some purpose in life, going out there, killing it, and bringing back some food for our family. That's all we want to do, bro. Nothing else. We're out here harming anybody. We're just doing it for ourselves, nobody else. Anyway, hopefully, this didn't sound like too much of a rant, because it bloody was. Anyway, hopefully, this gave you some value. Comment down below what you think about this. Like, and please subscribe.